Hello and welcome to another episode of Get to Know My Network. And today I'm going to introduce you to my baby brother, or as he likes to think, my big brother. As brothers and sisters go, we butt heads constantly, but we have this underlying connection and relationship that just literally can't be broken. And even over the years when we pretended not to care or not to worry about each other, we actually go back and worry about, is the other one okay, or what are they doing? But okay, not to go into that too much. Today I finally convinced him to come on to my show and chat about his very interesting life story. So let's meet today's guest, my little big brother, Dean Manuel. So Mom, I brought you in to give a bit of a background on Dean's story because we obviously were too young to remember or to know what actually happened when he was born. So tell our viewers, what is Dean's story?
So Dean was born on the 2nd of Feb. While giving birth to him, he went into fetal distress, and they just explained that he was getting tired of trying to be delivered. Then they did an emergency cesarean. Dean was born, and wow, we were very excited about it. I only met him much later in the day because I had general anesthetic at the time. After 2 weeks being at home, went for his first clinic visit. They found out that his head circumference was bigger than normal. His anterior fontanelle was bulging. That was the Thursday. The Tuesday the following week he had the operation because they found he had a cyst on the base of his brain that actually blocked the tube that drains the fluid. So the cyst put pressure against the brain, and the brain put pressure against the skull, which made it grow. What they then did in the operation was they inserted a shunt, which is a tube, a plastic tube, and that went into the cyst, and they then coiled it. It came around the back and through to the stomach on the side. They coiled up 30 centimeters in his stomach. So as he grew, it uncoiled, and that drained the cyst immediately, took the pressure off the brain. After 3 months, they then found out that there was no damage done to the brain. He could see fine, his hearing was fine, and yes, they gave him a great bill of health, and then he would just go annually for a checkup. And annually we found that the kids that were there had the same diagnosis as he had. They were really having problems because some of the parents identified it too late. They did not have what we had found out sooner than later. I remember very clearly when Dean was a year old, we went for his checkup, and the surgeon asked us, can Dean walk? And so we said, yes, he can. And he said, can you put him down? And so we put him down, but Dean took off and he ran down the passageway, and your father had to run after him. What we then found out that as the years went on for him, they did many tests. They felt that he wouldn't be able to go to a normal school, and he needed to have a lot of therapy. At I think about 2 years old, they did a lengthening of the Achilles tendon because that was one of the side effects he had, that his Achilles tendon tightened. Dean just defied medical sciences because of God, because we had so many people from our families to our friends to churches all over the country praying for him during that time. And Dean survived. You see him today, he's an adult, he's survived everything. He finished matric, normal school, and he had no issues whatsoever. I think a bit of laziness, but I believe that's all boys get that. But Dean is here because of the grace of God, and he's a survivor and an overcomer, and sometimes we have to remind him that he is a very special young man.
Hello, Dean. Thank you very much for being on my channel. So we've just spoken to Mom. I've asked her the question because about your history, the parts you don't remember, I'm assuming. So my next question to you would be, what is your earliest memory as a child?
My earliest memory would have to be learning to ride a bicycle.
And what do you remember about that?
Well, the struggles there of putting your leg over, learning to pedal. Once you get the pedaling process, then removing your side wheels. That was, I think, a huge movement in my life.
So wait, so you removed your own side wheel?
That is correct. Also, I've been told. I remember riding the bicycle. There's a couple of pictures to prove it. But I don't remember actually taking off the side wheels myself.
Yes, and that's probably why I also brought in my mom to answer the questions, because a lot of the stuff we don't even remember doing, but parents remember us doing, so then that's why they tell that story. And that's also why she told that, I mean, the beginning of your life and how it happened and how you were, what the difficulties thereof. I mean, when we hear the story, then we get very emotional about it.
Yes.
But
yes.
It's still somewhat a story for us.
It is. It sounds rather amazing when somebody else tells it. It's like they're not talking about me. It feels like I'm reading a story about somebody else's life story.
So you think it should become a story? A book maybe?
Rumor has
Ching,
it.
ching.
Rumor has it that it is in motion already. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I hope I'm involved with that. Okay. So Dean, tell our viewers like briefly about your rundown of your life.
Okay, it started off, I suppose I was over eager to get to school. No one knows why. With you at creche or play school. My parents initially sent me for like half a day, and then I just didn't want to come home, and I carried on throughout my preschool or creche career, going every day because I was excited to be there. Thereafter I went to primary school. Brief memories of that. It was enjoyable, but came with its pros and cons, obviously, with regards to my life and where I'd come from and where I now was. Obviously undergoing brain surgery at the age of 2 weeks old, so I developed paralysis on my left side, and that was the topic of like kids going on with me, bullying, and it stemmed from there. But I just decided at that point that I'd focus on the positives, look for the good in every situation, and that's what kept me at a normal school, because the doctors actually told my parents that I would, if I'd survived the brain surgery and stuff, I wouldn't be at a normal school. And being at a normal school, I went for tests at special schools and stuff, and they found no problem with me, and then I just pushed on, and I never failed a single grade in my life. So by the grace of God, obviously,
And the help of your family.
and the help and prayers of my family. Yeah, and that was the schooling side. Thereafter, I went to do a IT learnership program and worked in IT for 10 years after that. And yeah.
10 years.
Mm.
Now I just feel old.
Thereafter, I decided that working with my hands brought more joy to my life, and being able to create things, which I now do, was just more enjoyable than the normal IT 9-to-5 thing. And at that point I then joined my father in the business that we now have, L&D Maintenance.
Oop, oop. No, but that's so great, and I think that I'm happy that our parents always spoke to us about the past, told us where we came from and how we all started, because if it helped you deal with it? Because I think a lot of people don't share that with their kids maybe, or with friends and family, and then they end up growing up with issues that they don't even know why they have, and then instead of healing and getting healing from it, then they end up being more destructive. And I mean, sure, your story always brings me to tears.
I think fortunately for me, I talk a lot, so I don't ever bottle things inside. I speak about things when it's on my mind, and even when it's not, I just talk anyway. So I think that is a large portion of the assistance for in dealing with the issues and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, well done with you.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are now a dad. I am now an auntie. Thank you very much. I just want to know how would you encourage kids growing up now, and your son going into school and stuff like that, with regards to bullying and what you've been through? How would you encourage them?
I would say a bit of small advice would be focus on the things that you are good at and focus entirely on that and improving it, because your situation never stays the same. One thing in our lives, our situations always change. So even though you feel that you may be a small fish in a big pond, in a year or two's time it could be very different, and those same people that were looking down on you could be appraising you. And that's actually what happened to me when I left high school. The very people that did those things to me were actually coming to me for advice, coming to me to work on their cars and stuff. So there's always a turnaround, there's always a positive story in the negatives, and you have to go through some deep stuff or some negatives in order to enjoy or experience the positives, because the negatives ultimately prepare you for the positives.
It's very true. Wow. Sure, my little brother gave me some strong words here. No, thank you. So what are you up to now with L&D and stuff?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, my dad and I run a maintenance business called L&D Maintenance, where we support or supply small to medium-sized businesses and private as well with normal household general maintenance, but there's nothing that we don't do. We provide a one-stop shop, so if we can't personally do it, we know who can, and we still manage the projects on your behalf to make sure that you get the same quality, the same experience from any sphere that you need to go into or you require assistance with.
Wow. So it's a change from, definitely a big change from the IT world.
Massive. I personally didn't even see myself in it until I gave it a try, and now I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice, I'm sure Dad will be very happy to hear that. Okay, and what are your future plans?
Future plans, I would say very, very simple. Sticking to the point, obviously. Growing the business, building wealth for the family, and as you mentioned, my son and the rest of the family, and hopefully your children one day. And
one day.
Yes, one day soon, hopefully. And then as well as creating opportunities for other people that were possibly in our situations at a time, and helping them to grow, creating an opportunity for them from what God has blessed us with.
This is true. And I think we, as different as we are, I think we have the same goals. Want to help each other and help other people grow as well.
That's it. Because if you don't help others, what are you actually gaining it for?
Right, that's it. So true. Light bulb moments, eh? Okay. And now we're gonna jump into the final question. What do you do for fun? Tell our viewers.
For fun, it's difficult because my job is fun. I see different things, go to different places on a daily basis. But for fun, it's cars, motorbikes, sound, anything that I can do with my hands. And yeah, I have an extreme love for motorsport, specifically cars. Yeah.
So what am I joining you in doing today? We're gonna go check out some cars.
We're gonna check out some cars. We've got I think 2 or 3 of my friends that are going to be coming through with their vehicles. We're just going to have a walk around and just have a look at what we do and our interests. Yeah, because
And
we share the same passion. So
this is your friends and me too. And what most people don't actually know is that Dean and I share the same love, and it's probably because of my father and my mom. We've been biking, been pillions for when we couldn't bike. We've biked. He's got his license. I had my learners. And
to get there
we
again.
like. I'm gonna get my license, my bike license again. Yeah, we've both been into cars. We used to be part of a car club.
Yes.
So we love Killarney, the dicing, the racing, all the stuff. I don't even know all the terminology and stuff. So yes, we are gonna be checking out some cars. So what did I learn from my brother? Well, it's more to do with our relationship and how due to lack of communication we ended up drifting apart for, and I'll tell you, like 13 years. And it was a lot of outside influence from friends at the time there was lies and a lot of stuff. We started not trusting each other, which changed because when we started, we were like this. So for that to happen and for it to last so long was really unnecessary. But then we started communicating a bit better, and now we are on such a good path. And what I've learned from this situation is that I can tell everybody: learn to communicate better, especially when you communicate with your family and you speak about things and you deal with things. You just become a better person and a stronger person, and not just for yourself but for other people. And then you take that positivity with you into business, into your personal life, and everything just becomes so much better. So thank you to my brother for being on Get to Know My Network.